welcome back. Today we are going to be playing with some new stuff and some kind of random stuff that I picked up at Ulta. It's going to be kind of a grab bag, kind of chatty. We're going to be playing with some foundation and concealer from the actual Ulta Beauty brand, which I've never tried before. I've got some new stuff from PYT Beauty. This isn't new, this is the eyeshadow palette, but PYT is a brand that reached out to me right when they launched a few months ago, like end of July. And they sent me some of their new stuff that just came out. And then we also have the new NYX Ignite Palette. This is part of their Machinist collection, and so I have no idea what my face is going to look like after this. It's gonna just be a lot of fun. So let me zoom you guys in and we will start just, you know, playing in the mud. Before we get started, if you are new here, I make videos 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm going to start vlogging for Sunday videos again. I'm actually vlogging right now. This is a really good look. Whenever you get the chance, tuck all of your hair behind your ears. It's super flattering, it makes you look like an adult. So, little Ulta bag here. I got the Ulta Beauty brand moisturizing foundation stick, and I got it in the shade Fair Cool because their light shades leave a little to be desired. I know I'm usually picky about the other side of the spectrum, but I'm just gonna be picky altogether on this shade range. I think that it's just interesting that the shade that matched me the best was called Fair Cool, when we all know I am fair harem. So I also got Fair Neutral in the concealer, and then when I was checking out at the register yesterday, the girls were like, oh, there's a gift for people who, you know, spend a certain amount on Ulta Beauty, which honestly can't have been much. So they also included this little baby, and when the cashier rang it out, she goes, whoa. It rang up as $65, and then the $65 disappeared. So I guess this is their gift that's valued at $65. We will actually see whether it is, but I actually wasn't even anticipating having this much stuff to work with, and they just kind of threw this in for free. So in here we have 2 blushes, 2 bronzers, 2 highlighters, and 21 eyeshadows, and this is a free gift right now at Ulta. I spent $24.90 and they gave me this. So this is what she looks like right out of the tube, and they say that this is a moisturizing stick. When I tried it on my hand in the store, it definitely looked really intense, but it's not supposed to be super, super high coverage. So that's what she looks like, I mean, without further ado, right? Okay, this has that same kind of silky feeling that I got from the Wander Beauty stick, and what else? There's other stuff that comes in this stick format. The Makeup Revolution was a lot like this too. Feels really, really creamy and silky on the skin, but also might be a little bit oily. Got my Sigma 3D HD Max Kabuki right here. It's got this little kind of pointed end on it, and we're just going to buff that in. So, who has been watching The Haunting at Hill House? You guys, I am not a big scary movie person or scary TV show person. I think that a lot of times it's either too scary or it just can't keep my interest because it's just so over the top cheesy. Like, we watched this movie called Apostle the other night. Mike was like, let's watch something spoopy. And so we watched this movie Apostle, and neither of us, like, there were some really awful, gruesome scenes in it, and I covered my eyes through those. And then there were some scenes where I was just like, is this guy serious? Like, it was just so funny. It was the guy who plays William in Downton Abbey, and he was just, like, all he did was walk around brooding, and there were so many plot holes. We were like, why was he on some kind of drug? And then he stopped being on the drug, and then they never talked about it again. Have you guys watched it? It's on Netflix. I have flaky skin right here. Okay, so I swatched this in the store. This is in Fair Neutral, and it is the only one that they had left of this shade. So I think it's the closest for me. We shall see. Ooh, yeah, that's a great color. It's very brightening. We'll see what the formula is like. So anyway, the Haunting at Hill House was very much Mike's idea, and I was, you know, reticent at first because I was like, God, really? I don't know. I mean, I wanted to watch something scary in theory, but so much of the time, it's just super disappointing or just like really, really gross. Like, I can't watch Hostel. This is really spoopy and really intense. And where is my pyramid brush? There it is. Going in with my Sigma 40 HD Kabuki. I will withhold judgment until we get this all spread out. So it is very mixed up timeline-wise. It's got a lot of different vignettes from different time periods, but they do a good job of telling you where they're at. It's not like Westworld where you're just kind of left to figure it out. So they tell you everything. It's about these kind of 5 siblings and their parents who live in this haunted house and just kind of how it screws up all of their adult lives. And I highly recommend it if you're the kind of person who likes to be scared and thrilled but not like grossed out. There's nothing super gross out about it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I do have a weak stomach though, so I mean it's not super like tame or anything. I would say it's PG-13, you know, but it definitely deals with some like, you know, grown-up issues, but I think any of you guys would appreciate it. Alright, so I do not like the way that concealer went on. Look at this. Okay, why is there forever a cat hair stuck to my face? Not a lot of coverage, but a lot of grabbing onto all the texture underneath my eyes. And it's not drying down a lot. I'm not like worried about powdering it in time because it's not trying to dry down really hard, but I'm real not happy with it. Going to add some of my Thrive powder here. So I am going to hit up the Sephora sale this weekend, and one of the brands that I'm really excited to try is Ilia. I've never tried their stuff before and it's very expensive, and it's part of Sephora's clean beauty approved section. And I was in Sephora yesterday, yes, returning the Naked Cherry palette, and I ran across their display and I've been meaning to kind of try their stuff for a while, and I really want to know. I want to know if it is like just overpriced Glossier, because it is very all natural, very wears pretty, balmy, you know, supposed to be kind of just a healthy skin makeup, but it's like twice the price as Glossier. So we're going to find out, but I'm waiting for my 20% off coupon to kick in first. My logic is if I can buy it in October, I can use it in November, you know? We're not going to buy anything in November. Alright, I'm going to do my brows real quick because we don't have a brow product here. I'll be right back. So the next thing that we're going to go in with are these 2 new items from PYT Beauty. PYT, like I said, is brand new and they're all like cruelty-free and everything. They're really, really beautiful. And now they are being sold at Ulta. I'm kind of so proud of them. I saw them on the Ulta website and I was just like, yo, go get it. Go get some. That's awesome. So we have the Heartbeat Cheek color and we have the Upgrade highlighter. And the highlighter is in the shade Backstage Pass and the cheek color is in the shade Exhale. If you guys are unfamiliar with PYT, you might remember this palette. This is their No BS palette. This was the first thing that they came out with, was this beautiful eyeshadow palette. And so we're not going to be working in this today, but I do use it a ton. I actually used it in my last video just because of that huge, gorgeous base color. We're going to start with my little blush here, if I can open it without sticking my nail in it. Right here, so it has a little No BS kind of impressed in here. And I'm going to take my, what do I want to use? My big fluffy guy here from Real Techniques. And it's this really pretty like light rosy color, and I think that they came out with a few shades. And they just kind of reached out to me. I've been kind of in contact with them since they launched, and they asked which ones I would like, because they've got a spectrum for all skin tones on there. So nice big mirror that I can really work with, and it says "At First Blush" on the mirror. I like their products because, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but they're not crazy high pigment. And so they are very, very good for beginners, and they are also really good for, I don't know, the days that you don't want to have to be super careful. I remember even when I first started using MAC blushes, I always used Sunbask, and I was like, God, like this thing is so pigmented. And it was just kind of the one that the girl at the MAC counter sold me when I was 18, you know? I did like the way that it looked, but I had to be so careful with it because it was just so highly pigmented. And I remember going to them and being like, guys, like this is so intense, and they're like, isn't that the point? Like, don't you want something that's super highly pigmented? And I was like, I don't know, I'm 18. So I do appreciate a blush like this where I can just kind of keep playing and it doesn't get me in too much trouble. Plus it's just a really flattering color. This sort of like cool toned, almost lavender pink color is very good for my pale winter skin. And then we are going to go in with the Upgrade highlighter. I haven't really played with this very much yet, but it also has the cool impression on it, and it says "Bra down." Bra down, bra down, bra down. And I'm going to take my favorite highlighting brush. This is from Thrive Cosmetics, and it's basically like someone took a crease brush for your eye and just blew it up jumbo size. So I'm gonna go see how this goes here. Ooh, oh wow, okay. Oh, that's so pretty. Wow. Again, this follows suit on the, I mean, yes, that's a glow. That's a glow, but it's not crazy club glow. It's almost like a Becca highlight in that I could go all over my face with it and just get a really nice lit from within glow. Not necessarily like blind, 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 like that wet look. It's definitely not a wet look highlighter. It is all the same particle size, which I really, really like. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of glitter in there, like the Thrive one has a little bit of glitter in it. No glitter here, just an all the same particle size uniform shimmer, and I like that a lot. Reminds me actually a lot of the Flesh Beauty consistency. Yeah, similar consistency, actually very similar, but less powdery. So that's awesome. Like you can see that the Flesh one is just has a little more pigment behind it, whereas this one is just pure shimmer. And I really love that. And I think it's going to look even more exquisite, elegant, if you will, when I hit it with a finishing spray. Ooh, I don't like what this foundation is doing. Oh no, 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 no. The Thrive powder did initially make a genuine and concerted effort to save it. And the finishing spray also did a pretty good job, but you guys have had it on for about 10 minutes and it's already breaking up around my nose. That is just not good, not good, Ulta Beauty. So we're going to throw some Angel Eyes from Luscious Cosmetics, the primer, on my eyeballs. This apparently is on sale right now, you guys. I got the email from the affiliate partner and they were like, hey, you know, tell all of your constituency that they can get this stuff for cheaper. And then one of my lovely viewers posted a comment on my last video being like, it's $10.50 instead of $14 right now, so stock up. How do we feel, guys, about a $25 palette from NYX Cosmetics? That's a little pricey for a NYX palette, especially when you can get like an e.l.f. palette, which I consider, I am literally not going to root through all this crap. Oh, there it is. You know, this guy's like $18 and you get so many shades, and I get it. Like, this is some really heavy packaging. It's really, really pretty. I see that they're kind of trying to move in a new direction, a little bit more luxury. And I have had the chance to play with a couple of these colors and then I just washed it off. It was like a video that didn't go very well. They do seem to be pretty high performing shades. So let's go a different route than the blues and the greens of it all, because that's what we did in my last video. I just want to do something different today. We're going to go ahead and jump in here. I'm going to grab a big fluffy brush here from Thrive, and this came out in a collection of a bunch of highlighters and some lip products and 3 palettes. The other ones are called, oh no, I'm not going to remember. One's called Steam, and the other one's called, nope, not gonna come to me. Anyway, yeah, it came out with some cheek products too that were like these highlighters that are really bronzy, would make you look like the Tin Man, and I was just not interested. And some matte lips, which you guys know are my top 5 favorite things, so I didn't go that route. I do appreciate that this one has a pale white shade. They don't all have that, and so that was what made me choose this one. We're gonna have a rematch with the cranberries of it all. That's what's gonna happen today. I'm going to start with the Sigma E40 right here, and I'm going to dust a like nice pinky transition shade right here. They're all just numbered, so I'm just gonna point to them. Like, this is shade, 4, but that doesn't, none of you guys is going to be like, oh, paint by numbers. So. I might be getting out of doing a foundation wear test on this because this foundation's so ugly already. Oh man. So this is working pretty well. Very pretty. Just kind of diffusing that out on the eye a little bit. This one looks a little different from the other one, but that's okay. I wish I was like Harry Potter and I could just be like, Accio, do the thing. There it is. Makeup Geek Define Crease Brush. Just gonna need to remember that because I use it all the time. And we're gonna go a little weird today. You know, why not? I'm probably going to be washing all this makeup off after this anyway because I'm really not a fan of what this foundation is doing. It's actually making me kind of nervous that it's gonna break me out, so might as well go nuts on my eyes. All right, we're going to go into this shade right here, which has no name. We'll just name them. This is Priscilla. So we're going into Priscilla right now. And I'm going to give myself a really nice deep crease right here. And I'm also going to kind of go the snitchery route, and I'm gonna draw myself like a little under eye bag. Just make it real pretty. It was so funny, you guys, when I took back the Naked Cherry palette yesterday, all the Sephora employees gathered around. Apparently they don't have it in store here yet. So they were all like, we haven't seen it. So like cracked it open. They're like, why are you returning this? It was so funny. So Priscilla's gorgeous. She's crushing it. We love her. She is here to perform, here to party. Very, very pretty, easy to blend. Don't worry, we're gonna get weird. So there's nothing like darker than that to go like even deeper in the crease with, unless I just kind of wanted to go with a green, you know, and layer it and make it kind of muddy on purpose. So I'm just kind of going underneath my eyeball, my orbicularis right now. And you can see it kind of leaves a little bit of a gap kind of around right underneath my eyes. Ooh. It's a lot like my my Halloween recreation that I did. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good look, but we're making a look. I mean, we already have my hair tucked completely behind my ears. It's the most awkward length ever right now, but I'm growing it out. I'm decided I'm growing it out. It's happening, so we'll all just be uncomfortable and ambiguous together. We're gonna go ahead and establish whatever the hell I'm gonna put on my lids right now with the Sigma E55. It's this kind of, it's like an enlarged version of the Thrive brush that I love so much. Oh, the air is on. This shade right here, it's kind of a shimmery, satiny purple shade. And we're going to call him Steve because guess what? He can be named Steve. Yeah, okay. Steve is purple. Steve is really purple. Huh. Like, not fully convinced on the pigmentation on this one because it's not a foil. I shouldn't have to go in with my finger with a shade like this, but he's building up pretty nicely. It's a duochrome, so it goes kind of purple pink or even like slightly navy blue pink. But I don't really know why both of those needed to be in the palette. They're almost the same. That's Steve and Billie Jean over here. They're very, very similar in shade profile. So like I'm not totally sure why those are both there. One's browner. The one I'm putting on my eyeballs right now is browner, but seems like a strange choice in a 12 shadow palette. You guys are so funny. I love you guys because you always point out all the stuff. Like, I'm literally in my own little silo over here. I'm always just kind of like, wow, makeup, wow, this is my opinion. And then you guys are like, oh, hey, Kackie, did you know this? Like, how about the fact that I went so into detail about how I couldn't believe Natasha Denona was putting out another palette so closely after the gold palette. And then you guys were like, it's a cranberry palette. It's only 5 shades. And I was like, oh, okay. Although, I was in Sephora yesterday and I picked up one of their 5 shade, picked it up in my hand, I didn't buy it. There are 5 shade palettes. You guys, those things are so tiny. Oh my God, they're like embarrassing. I was like, $25 for this? I get it. I get the big ones are $129 and so those, you know, being $5 a shadow, but they look like kid makeup. They're so small. We've succeeded in making, you know, an organized mess on my eyes right now. And let's see, we're going to start moving in. Well, first I'm going to take a little bit of our white shade here. Do I even want to do that? No, I think I want to go in with pink. We're going to start with this like bright pink shade right here. And I'm going to go on my inner third of my eye. The pigmentation is freaking awesome here. That last one took a little bit of work, but I mean, you know, you could argue that I was using the wrong brush. I don't know. I'm gonna call it my fault because these are, like, this pink is dynamite. I like it a lot. We're going to call her, Dolly. Do I look crazy yet? We still haven't brought any light out of this. Oh man, how did I miss this color? Whoa. Who calling me? Look at this color. It's this like icy lavender. How did I miss that? That is so pretty. So I'm going to take that icy lavender and kind of try and use that creamy texture up here to blend. I hate that. No, that doesn't work at all. Nope. Nope. Okay. We're going to continue blending up from the purple of it all with... Wow, there's not really much of a place to go here, is there? So I'm just going to go with our original kind of transition-y shade here. Is that the transition shade? I actually don't know. Good thing none of you guys is actually going to be following this as a tutorial because, well, I doubt you're going to like want to get this look, but I will say, even though I think that this is going to end up really ugly, I do really think that these shadows perform well. I'm not really sure about the kind of choices here on the actual shades because, I mean, I think that probably the other one, I forget what it's called, but like the more warm golden kind of coppery palette would have been better for my eyes and for my skin, but I thought that that was a little too predictable, so I went with this one instead to try and branch out a little bit, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. But I'm going to show you guys how you can bail yourself out of, you know, most things here. So I'm going to take some of the white that we started with on my little baby brush here, and kind of clean up, bring some light back in, and like we did in the last one, just contain the chaos. It makes it look like you meant to, if you can just contain it like that. Ooh, yes, I love this white. Like, this is probably one of my favorite white shades in any palette because it isn't crazy, crazy bright paper white, but it really packs a good saturated pigment punch. I mean, that's an improvement. I'm not gonna say it looks good, but it's an improvement. All right, let's bring some light into my life here. I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm going to dip it into that icy lavender that we tried to put on the top of my eye, and I'm gonna use it as an inner corner highlight. Yeah, it lends itself way better to that. Gonna kind of go, I didn't mean to, but we're gonna kind of go underneath my eyelash line there too. My eyelash line. Gonna take that pencil brush that we used with my Melt Cosmetic Gemini palette, and I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade right there and kind of tuck it right here. I like this brush because it fits right in that little spot. Like that. I'm really not sure what's going on here. All right, I'm going to take this shade right here. We will call her Olivia Newton-John. And I actually don't like love that shade. It doesn't have that much kind of foily impact to it. So never mind. We're going to go back into that gold that I just used underneath my eye because it's a little bit foilier, a little bit softer. And I'm gonna go kind of right on the lash line here. Bring just a touch of shadow. There's really no foils here. I'm a little disappointed because we're working with like just mattes and satins, and you can't really get like some big glittery punch. Like, I don't really even like that much. I don't like it. Let's clean up underneath here because I look like someone socked me. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, guys, I think that this palette, while the shadows perform really nicely, they're very, very creamy, they're very smooth, this doesn't have really a lot of places to go. You don't have a really deep shade. It doesn't really vary in temperature. They're all kind of like neutral to cool. And I think that that's kind of neat, but like, what am I gonna do on my lid? If this shade doesn't pull the light out on my lid, then what will? So let's go into our weird little Ulta Beauty thing here, this little book that they gave me. May your day be as flawless as your makeup. Well, we're not really off to a good start in that respect if that's what we're aiming for today. So we have this really pretty highlight shade right here. Actually, I like that one a lot too. So those are our two highlights that are in there. I'm gonna go with the gold in the middle of my eye and see what the heck happens here. Now we're talking. Hell yeah! Oh yeah, I like that way better. And this isn't even foiled either, obviously, it's a highlighter. So, I just like that better. I wish that the gold in the palette performed as well as this gold highlight from Ulta. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. I'm actually gonna take this pink shade right here. I think that that's kind of why I always wanna go towards these like berry toned eyes, is because it reminds me of using blush as an eyeshadow. I like the idea of having multitasking products. Ooh, look at that. Kind of using that blush to continue smoking this out. I'm gonna use it up here to kind of blend up into my brow bone. What a pretty color. I don't know how it works as a blush, but it makes a great eyeshadow. And then I need some depth. Everything is so flat that I'm going to take a deep purple shade right here and just add a little bit to the crease, because we have completely lost the crease here, and there's nowhere to get it from in the Machinist palette, unless, like I said, I wanted to take like turquoise and pile it on top and just kind of like make a new deep brown color, and I have no idea how that would go. Not that really there's anywhere to go but up from here. I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to be like, Kackie, your too much gene took over. I think that I set out to let my too much gene take over today. I was just like, hey, we have too much makeup and not enough face, so I'm gonna just keep putting it on till we've used everything. That was what I set out to do today. Still kind of frustrated with how not highlighted my lid is right now. Ooh, hello. So I grabbed a little bit of a pearly kind of silver shadow that was in it's right here. And I'm just going for it here. And I want to take that underneath my lash line right in the center because, you know, we're going for a look today. Feeling very Jeffree Star with like this much under eye. And that is where the Jeffree Star reference ends. Ethereal work. So, let's cut away. I'm gonna put on some liner and some mascara, and I will be right back. Remember that time that I put on a berry lip and didn't get it all over my face and my teeth? Me neither. Alright guys, let's talk about the performance of each of these products real quick. So I will start by saying, even though we're kind of working backwards here, that this berry eye, even though it's not the prettiest thing in the world, is still better than what I came up with the Emily edit, and that is all to be attributed to the beautiful actual formula of these eyeshadows. The color choices, I just don't know. This is a very odd release. It's a very strange set of choices that they made because I really don't know who this applies to. Who is wearing these shades and these shades only on a regular basis, because I don't think that there are that many people out there that they were assuming were actually like owning the steampunk aesthetic every single day. I know that they exist out there, but I'm just saying that NYX probably wasn't bargaining on that being their only target demographic for this. But while these are gorgeous, you guys saw, they just don't really cooperate together as a balanced shade range. They are all so similar in tone value. They're so medium, with the exception of this gorgeous white, which I will probably pan. It's so pretty. I sound so basic when I say that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, with the exception of maybe this really interesting kind of lavender color, these are all very, very similar. These two shades, like I said, are outrageously similar. One's just a little bit browner, one's just a little bit purpler. These two, actually these three, are all very similar in kind of use case. And even this gold right here that, you know, is the closest thing we have to a foiled shadow, doesn't foil on the lid. It doesn't bring any brightness out of this. So this is just kind of a recipe for mud to me. Very well formulated, but a recipe for mud. And that is the tea on that, because while I don't think that this is a very pretty look I came out with on my eyes, there were not a lot of escape routes. We were allowed no trap doors in this palette, and so that is partly why this issue arose. Let's talk about the foundation and the concealer. I will move in here real quick. Where did the concealer go? The concealer has left the chat. I don't know where she went, but it's actually fine. This is freshly applied, and you can see that she's gathering in kind of yucky ways around my nose. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it looks like I've been wearing it all day. That's, I think, the weirdest thing is I think I've only had this on my face for like 45 minutes or so, and it already looks so much like I've been wearing it all day. It's kind of particle-y, if that's a word. It looks, you know, like it's breaking up. The makeup went on a little patchy on top of it. Not in love with that. And you can see, even though I've really put on a lot of powder underneath my eyes to try and clean up after my errant eyeshadow placement, we still have some really dark tear troughs. I do like my tear troughs, but I was hoping that we'd get a little more coverage out of the concealer than that. And for all of its brightening qualities when I first put it on, the way that it sheared out or airbrushed out with that brush, which I'm obsessed with that concealer brush. I love that concealer brush. It usually does an amazing job. I love an under eye brightening rather than a full shellacking of concealer, but we got nothing here. Nothing. That's what it looks like with minimal lighting. It just, this is super distracting. And usually if I pound powder on, it's fine. And that is just like, I don't know. It's not fallout from the shadows. The shadows actually really didn't fall out that badly. And finally, I am actually really pleased with the powder products, the new blush and highlighter from PYT Beauty. Again, these are really good for beginners. I think that this is one of those blushes, especially in the shade if you're pale, that's going to be really forgiving. It's a very pretty, easy to wear, easy to apply thing, especially on top of the foundation that I said was kind of grabbing things ugly. I feel like this did a good job of smoothing things out in its own right. And I kind of expected that because that's how their eyeshadows behave too. Like any makeup release is kind of doing a risk reward, right? Like there's always the shininess of a new product like this where you're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen those colors before. Maybe you've never seen those colors before because people don't really tend to like to wear them on their faces. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have stuff like this that if you didn't know to look for it on their website, you might not have your eye drawn to this on the Ulta website because you're just inundated with all of this brand new shiny stuff. But that's because these are so everyday. They're so user-friendly. And when it comes to spending your money on cosmetics, there's something to be said for getting a collector's item, but there's also something to be said for waking up in the morning and using something that you really like that looks really nice on you. Price-wise, the No BS, the eyeshadow palette that we did not use today, but this guy's $28. Each of the powders for the face are $22. They've got 3 shades in the highlight, 3 shades in the blush. So happy Friday, you guys. I hope that this has been a really good week. This has been such an amazingly positive week for me because I'm finally like clear-headed after my wedding and everything. It's just so nice. And again, thank you for all of your congratulations. I love being able to get on here and just hang out with you guys. So I hope that this was really fun for you guys too. This was a really fun video for me, just kind of like playing in the mud a little bit without really a plan or a destination. So if you enjoyed it, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, guys, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Thank you so much for watching and for being here with me today, guys. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next